What a fantastic start that was from FUT. They take Fnatic down on Split in a dominant fashion. I am your host, Yinsu, and I'm back here once again with Vlad and Ash. It was close. You know, in the beginning, there was a lot of back and forth. And then, Vlad, it wasn't close.
Yeah, I mean, I love the macro management from FUT Esports. I mean, they stuck on the sides and didn't feel any pressure from mid at all. And first contacts are always baiting the other anchor player, and the other anchor player is showing off his skills. Ye2J sometimes, Mr. Fallen sometimes, and everybody is individually perfect. And they won against Fnatic in the first half as well, which was so crucial for them.
Yeah, I think we saw everyone set up. Meanwhile, on the side of Fnatic, there was a little bit of that disconnect in the spacing, I think, when we were seeing how these rounds were being approached. I feel like we saw Fnatic, especially on defense, taking a lot of 1vx's, and not really looking to trade each other out. So looking to really tighten that up heading into map 2. But to be fair, at the same time, I think FUT did also a really good job to actually zone these players to isolate those like multi-v1 situations as well.
Yeah, you don't swing Turkish players like that. You don't. You don't. And speaking of Turkish players, Krax versus Alpha. Yeah, we are very, very excited about this matchup. But Ash, it was Krax that looked much better on Raze.
Yeah, I mean, he was absolutely insane in this match. You guys can see it in the B-roll here. This previously KO-only player finding more depth into his agent pool. He was so explosive on these site takes, ending it out in like 20 and 12 for that KD.
Yeah, I think he was awesome. He has been playing Raze so far on Split as well, on Bind sometimes, before Cine takes it over. But right now, he's building so much confidence on his duelist level as well. Love to see him.
A bit disappointed in Alpha, maybe?
Not really, because like as a team, Fnatic didn't deliver any sort of approach to the map as well, where Leo has to play only initiator, and they couldn't spot either Krax or CNET as well, which made them enable their individual skills, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Alpha have better days in the office and Fnatic have better days in the office as well. But with FUT winning this map, I mean, the stats actually don't. It doesn't seem too
show
bad.
The truth.
It doesn't,
yeah.
But I also agree with you that it just felt like maybe Alpha wasn't traded enough. They kind of let him alone there. But of course, with FUT winning this map, we have a quick update for you guys in the playoffs race, because Koi have officially been eliminated. They will not be able to make playoffs no matter what their results will be for the remainder of the season. They will, however, still be able to play for those all-important championship points. You never want to see that, Ash, just before they play their game tomorrow.
You never want to see that. Maybe it gives them that opportunity to be a little bit more loose in their upcoming matches, but at the same time, it's also on them to be putting themselves in this situation.
Yeah, speaking of a player that has been loose and fast and fresh and all those things, it is Durka. Here he is in the AIM Labs warm-up. You could see the intentions behind this Yoru, Vlad. There were some moments of greatness.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, he did his best in order to hold on to the map, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for Fnatic to do it, but hopefully they will deliver the second map.
Yeah, let's talk about that Lotus real quick, because I know we have some opinions about that comp, but Ash, I think it will be a mistake if FUT come into Lotus against Fnatic with that comp they ran last time. I don't want to see it.
I think it's pretty dodgy, but at the same time, FUT is also this team that has been innovating on the go consistently within this competition, and they've also finally been able to, although we're not quite at the end of this series, take a map off Fnatic when previously they haven't been able to take a series off of them. So they're making steps in the right direction and trying to get that vengeance up against Fnatic, who previously knocked them out of last year's champs.
I will say, do you not remember when FUT took a map of Fnatic and then immediately got 13-1 or something? Yeah.
That was hard to watch, to be honest.
Well, let's take a look at Agent Select here, Vlad, and see if we are going to get that comp once again.
I think we will see the same comp against Carmine Corp. That's the insight.
Can they run it
Oh
twice?
yeah, it's gonna be hard to watch.
Oh.
And they're starting off attacking site as well, which is gonna be a huge trouble for Fnatic because FUT is playing fast pace, and Fnatic is used to play retakes on this map for a whole year, but it's gonna be hard for them to play just like Split.
We're really gonna have to see FUT try to be dynamic with the ways they're playing to push and pull across this map here on Lotus, because you're also considering the fact that running this composition, again, they're losing on so much active information, really relying only on that that Cypher, and at that point, it's all about those more contacty style plays.
I mean, all they did last time was use Yesterday as a drone and then just res him when he peeked into an op. We'll see what happens. This is a very, very interesting composition. Of course, Mitchman and Tombizz FUT, they're one map away from taking down Fnatic 2-0. Let's see if they can do it.
To claim that victory at long last would just be fantastic, because this is something they've tried before and many times in the past, and they never could get past this Giant. Fnatic came in, they even looked shaky. You mentioned the BBL game earlier, it was even the FUT game, or the Giant game, sorry. It came incredibly close. It seemed like Fnatic had a shaky start to the season, but now they're back on form. They've had a couple of good games. They dismantled Gentlemates. Coming into this, though, first map didn't go according to plan. There were some issues there. Timeouts being burned up as well, and the solutions, they were there, but FUT always had that leg up. Coming into Lotus, do you expect to see the same?
But the thing is, like, realistically, the first time FUT ran this comp, it's a comp that kind of shouldn't work. They're not running an initiator. Fnatic know it's coming, so they should be able to beat it. I still think that's easier said than done. I think a lot of comfort agents for the side of FUT. I think that Cracks is still unbelievable on the Sage. I think Zenith on the Jet. I don't know. I think if FUT play as well individually as the last map, it may not matter that their comp has flaws.
It's strange, isn't it? Cracks' KO, for example, is spectacular. We saw his raise, and now here comes the Sage that we're excited for as well. Hello? Does anyone hear the steps? He's got a silencer on his boots. Somehow, only able to pick up the one, though. Good response by Alfier, and the fight comes in favor of Fnatic. 3 versus 1. Only Mr. Fallen left. Almost caught with a smoke in hand. He won't even find the kill on Leo. Quick on the trigger, and a much better start to this map for Leo as well. Really get the wrist warmed up, because he was a little shaky. Few whiffs, and also as well playing Breach in a map like Split. You're always removed from the initial engagement. You're not the guy looking to trade. You're the guy looking to stun them up, flash them up, all that sort of nonsense. Here, he's able to duel, and he does well in this round.
That is the thing. I think a little bit more of a comfortable agent for him individually. Like one where he's going to be able to put up more raw numbers. They're not running the double as well. Alfie, you're going to be back on the Sentinel. So I think that, again, although I like the composition they're running on the previous map, this is one where I think the roles just fit a little bit better. Maybe you could argue that Chronicle plays a couple of roles slightly better, but he plays everything very good, so it's always difficult.
Well, round 2, not a lot to write home about for FUT. These are the rounds that they somehow managed to win against all odds. Let's see if that happens this time around. Boaster in the danger zone, and Durka tries to trade, gets dropped immediately, and now Boaster's down. I'm getting worried again, Tom. This always happens with FUT. They've got nothing to work with, but now they've got 2 rifles to be retrieved. And this could only continue to spiral from here based on what we saw before.
I think luckily for them, one of them was only a stinger, but they have managed to go get the Bulldog. And they're already handing that over to Cracks, who is exactly who I would be handing it over to as well. Because this guy, again, just put a gun in his hand and he can win you rounds. Leo is going to have to sort of show that individual ability. The rest of the team, I think they're waiting for a rotation back to the B side, which honestly, after an initial fight over towards A, it's not a bad idea. Like when a team is battling for Robo, a lot of the time they're going to expect a sack on the A side, so they'll rotate towards B. And with both players over by the broken door, it's possible.
Door open, they're giving the info that they're going A, trying to bait these players out into showing their hand, and well, they most certainly have. At least one spotted the spams through the smoke, are catching value, and well, you're not going to pick that weapon up off Cracks' body if you haven't got any HP left after CNET. And he's still fighting for this, but he's not looking for the Bulldog. He just wants the spike that's now being left behind by that engagement, and with 12 seconds left, he ain't even going to get that planted. It's all about damage. And
10 seconds left.
Well, yeah, Yinsu, there's no going down to the spike here. This is, well, let's hope someone shoots at him. They don't just run away. There you go. He is going to be taken down in the end. 3 kills for Chronicle. Ult farming round for him, and it's an okay moneymaker for Fnatic. 3 of the rifles make it to the next round.
The funny thing is, if he'd won that fight versus Chronicle, it might have actually been worse because he wouldn't have been able to bring anything through. Again, these rounds when it's FUT always seem to be a little bit dangerous, a little bit costly, but Fnatic do well to weather the storm, keep themselves in a pretty decent position, and they are going to invest back into this one. Now, I am noticing that a couple of the players are going to be left without extra finances. So you're looking at Leo buying him with a rifle, Boast has got a Bulldog as well, so these players will not be able to rebuy into the next round if they lose this one, and Mr. Fallen's gone straight in with an Odin.
Absolutely. The guy has a big brain. He knows how this game should be played. Not able to find too much of a tag at the start. And of course, when you look at the composition Fnatic are running, they can bypass a lot of that spray, still take the control. Someone like Boaster on the Shrouded Step crossing over for free. And obviously Durka with his blast packs can get up and above it. Won't be used at the start of this round, but they have managed to take the control anyways. For Fnatic, now they just have to pump the brake, wait for this play to come through. Foot, look for aggression on C. Nothing happens there. They've got a trap and even a player spotting the B walk up. But Fnatic are not looking to get aggressive anywhere. They're keeping Foot boxed in.
Timing is going to be everything. It looked like for a moment Yedege was just going to try something a little bit cheeky. And it does seem like after the initial sort of battles, faking out that they're going towards this A side, which I won't say has worked fantastically well. Fnatic will have a good idea. Seen it though, already in, Yedege already in, but it doesn't even matter. Alpha's managed to find both opening picks, and again, now the time starts to tick. They're going to run through this into the oncoming storm that is Fnatic. Well, let's see what that Odin can do in 25 seconds. He's at least going to get one.
Well, 20 seconds, it's not over and done with just yet, but it might be. Look at Durka's position. His timing, not quite good enough. So the spike will now get planted. Post plant with an Odin inside tree. That's wall bangable as well, but he does not want to go into tree. Instead, stepping forward and right into the waiting arms of Durka. No way Mr. Fallen could expect him to be there already. And now another round found for Fnatic, denying that third round buy up out of Foot and even saving over the Odin as well. Little money maker.
Yeah, no, that's going to be huge. Now, we actually saw this recently with Fnatic playing on this map versus Gentlemates, and it was actually Durka running the Odin, which I do think is a little bit of a peculiar choice. Like, normally you're going to try and have your Viper. I think that's the most obvious. You have the Orb, you also have Stake Bites. But he was actually playing over towards the A doors a lot of the time. Now, this time it does seem like maybe that they've decided against that, which I don't necessarily mind. I think giving Durka more of an opportunity to be a bit more aggressive. For Foot, though, financially in the bin, Mitch, they're not going to have a lot for this round once more.
See how close those bullets come off rip to stealing some HP away. In fact, a few landed. CNED tagged up, out of Captain, tagged down, all the way down to 0. A quick and clean start to this one. Prowler going through to make sure no one's inside that cage. Nothing nasty's going on. No one snuck past and thread the needle. The spam attempts by Boaster, always just an annoyance. He's playing the gambling game, seeing if he can get the damage done. The door gets open. The pressure now being applied as Foot get that a little bit closer. They have left the spike in spawn, the intention to go to the B site, but someone's going to have to go back and get it.
Yeah, I don't even know if they will. I don't think Foot have any intention of actually winning this round. I think they just have the intention of trying to do as much damage as humanly possible. Finally, the realization is there for Cracks. It's a long walk back to retrieve. And actually, okay, I'm surprised CNED manages to win that fight. That looked like a surefire victory for Durka. And now they actually are going to have themselves an afterplant.
Yeah, managing to wall it off as well. Guaranteeing no swing in from the spawn and got heaven covered. Post plant with these weapons, so much scarier. One player unchecked in a position that they don't clear, but oh, Yedege! What a shot! I was surprised he even swung, but of course Cracks was there to help out and they both found a kill. The slow up top, the information revealed as well. And that Odin spray isn't gonna get a thing. They know that it's there. They're not gonna be in angles where he can spam back for free. Already the call is made. Fnatic go for a save. Round 4 is the fruitful one for Foot, and it's only going to get better as they drop another weapon out of the hands of these defenders. CNED close by to try to hunt down that final man standing. For Leo, holding onto this rifle isn't everything. Oh, okay. He's managed to drop CNED. Okay. Looks like he will be safe, as I already see Yedege running the other way. They'll carry 2 weapons forward on the side of Foot. Leo keeps his life. But they don't keep their flawless track on Lotus. 1 round given over to Foot already.
Man, it's gotta be infuriating. Like, that fight literally changes the round. Just managing to get them into an afterplant on that B site. And that's the thing with that wall. That's basically a lot of what Foot were doing, is when they played up against KC love a really heavy retake style. So they had a wall to go on then. Retake. Throw your util. Now you gotta run past the walls. It's just to be annoying. That's the main difference with this composition.
Oh, the nade! The updraft saved CNED's life.
Ooh, for now.
He was seized, and now Boaster's spamming away, doing damage.
How's he
Mr.
alive?
Fallen trout. They should think he's not here. The amount of bullets they just put through, but the Prowler will confirm it. It will make it a little easier to follow up on the damage done. The C site, the new target of FUT. We saw this before. They pressured A a lot less, and they found C to still be stacked up, and that's very much the case this time around. The Viper Orb, the Snake Bite, the Nanos, everything activated on site tells them that they're not going to have an easy take. It's going to be another brawl from the side of FUT on the way through, and well, it looks like it'll start with Alpha, who's already forced out of position, but they're not looking. Never mind. Krax lands the jump and takes the kill with a Viper's pick committed. This could make it very difficult to hold on to post plants.
We have one more orb for Krax.
Oh!
And that's what he's going for. If he gets this, he's got res online. So this can turn things back into a 4v4 scenario. The problem is, I believe the res will be within the pit, which is it's not something you might want to go for. Maybe just got to wait until the later stage is Durka. I don't know if that's exactly what he was planning. There is the res, and he will immediately trade it out and even get a second as well. A little bit awkward in the execution, but he gets the job done. It's left all up to Seed, and well, he won't get anything more than that initial kill. Fnatic break back immediately after FUT get their first round. And it is back to business once again.
Good day.
Right back into it. Another day at the office for Fnatic, 4-1 up. That Prowler was beautiful catching them off, but the lack of rotations from the side of Fnatic, the fact that they're able to take this aggressive A control, I think is the main problem. We're seeing again and again that the B side is still held. There's still a double stack on C. And here there was a little bit of hesitation. Chronicle for a second step towards B to go help out, and then they realize, oh, it's the same old thing.
I think the bigger problem is more so that when you try and reclaim ground towards A, you have an initiator. Like Fade is probably the classic example.
Yep.
And what they were doing last time, if you could think back to their game versus KC, I'll tell you what they were doing. CNED ran straight out and headshot someone. Right, every round. That was basically their strategy. Okay. It was, we're all gonna lurk, maybe go over towards C, CNED, and he pushed A every single round. That was how their attack side worked. You can go back, watch it. That's what he did. Fnatic go, so he's going to try and run out and kill us, sees nade. And so he then, there's no way he can do the same play he just tried. In the meantime, Boaster's reclaiming that ground and he's going to get up above. And you have support from Leo, who's going to be getting you that information. Leo's 6-0, by the way, so they haven't done anything to deny him getting information and finding high impact kills. So this is the problem at the moment for FUT, is there are significant holes when it comes to reclaiming space. So they have to take it immediately, and Fnatic are going, you can try, we're going to put the deadliest combo of util you basically have in the game, which is a Caesar nade.
Well, this is it. It's not just that, then they're also doubled up on the angle. There's always that 2 stack up towards Rubble. As you're saying, retaking that, you're taking it at the start of the round, not really an option, unless CNET dashes out and isolates himself completely. And taking it afterwards, going through a one-way smoke, up against 2 players, you don't know where they are. Sometimes that third is there for the supportive utility, like you said, from Leo. It hasn't been easy. They've tried it, it did not work. And now, coming into round number 6, new ideas have to be tested. Much more aggressive.
CNET with Blade Storm. That's the strat. It's the same
go
strat,
pick A.
but with CNET on a Blade Storm now.
It's much more contact from the squad, and they're looking for aggressive plays, where before they were in the spawn, watching for a walk-up on C or B. This time they're trying to catch them, peeking their head around those initial corners just to spot the info. But it hasn't come through. There's just not enough pressure being applied on A, and that ultimate...
There you go. Hey, that's the thing.
2
like,
players.
You can just deny them this space again. Like, they've had to fall all the way back. The only issue is that there's only 1 defender on the other side of the map. They were so certain this would be a committal. This sneak through from Captain could be everything. If he gets the timing right, he hasn't spotted where this player is, but there's only 1 spot that's left. Even still, though, Alpha's going to get 1, and now the cavalry arrives, but they don't know that Captain's managed to get this far. It's a problem once again for Fnatic of just losing where these FUT players are. Even still, though, they've managed to turn it into a 3v3, and FUT are going to try and go back again with 25 seconds left.
Well, they've got a lot of space on Yedije, so it makes sense to capitalize, and the wall allowed them to cleanly disconnect, well, bar the player out of Captain who got caught on the other side of it.
Do you expect him to be here this soon? That's the bigger thing.
You shouldn't. Although the fact that they've rotated and given it up, perhaps. 8 seconds. If the spike is caught crossing, it's over and done with, but it won't be. The timing just isn't there. Krax just about gets there. A wide swing could end the round here, and now the spam is close. Oh, but just a little bit off. And in the end, the punish is there. Boaster could have just won the round. But instead, Fnatic have to fight back in a 2 versus 3. Krax waiting away on the site. Point of contact will be him. Yedege swings after to get the kill. Tree held by Mr. Fallen. There's almost no flaw in this hold. There's definitely no gaps to be exploited, and Fnatic make that read. They're going back in the other direction, saving these weapons for the next. Foot have found a second.
Yeah, again, it comes down to these millisecond plants. I was actually scared for a second because it looked like Cracks got slightly stuck on the door, and I was like, if you lose a round to a revolving door, I'm out. That's right. Like, just leave. But I think we're seeing the fact that Fnatic are actually respecting a lot of the utility. Again, you see those slows come in, and it means that you're not going to be able to get the jump on any of these players. So do you really want to risk throwing all of your weaponry away, gambling that you can win an advantage round for Foot? Probably not. But this is, again, just these moments, these slight changes. And that was basically, that round was won by the guy who's currently bottom of the vault at the moment for Foot. It was Ada Captain. Just the fact that he found the slightest gap. And that's not down to utility or anything, because they don't have the utility to give him the info. He just had to walk in and hope that no one saw him.
I think that's the difference of having the turret on B versus on C, right? Like, if you bypass that alarm bot and it's not spotted, there's nothing you can really do on the defensive side to predict that. Even then, it looked like Alpha was kind of aware. He was watching the back every now and then, but they weren't sure.
Yeah.
The other teammates not as vigilant on the way through.
It's not him who dies from it. I think that's the bigger
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
He might be aware, but I don't think his teammates were. Again, though, these incredibly slow rounds coming out from Foot. The early fight that they've had has been unsuccessful, but the thing is, for Fnatic, there's not really a reason to change things. Like, holding on to this A site has not been particularly difficult. They've been able to use this one way almost every single time, have util coming out from whichever player is available. This time they have somewhat fallen off though, but I think there might be a paranoia being set up ready, if it's even needed. I don't know if it will be. Durka won the duel versus CNED, and again, once CNED dies, they don't go this way anymore.
Little assist for the Boombot. You know, we've seen it with the Prowler, now we've seen it with the Boombot, spotting them out, spraying through the smoke to eliminate. Fnatic have the advantage to play with, no need to move out of position. Yedege is going to try to fake out on C, he's been spotted, making his way back all the way around the long way to B at this point. That's where the hit's coming in, and tucked in the corners, Leo! He'd been there the whole round, and patience certainly pays off this time. The spike is now under Fnatic's control, and any doubt of this round surely now fading away. It seems certain that Fnatic will lock it in with 15 seconds left. Those last two players simply do not have the time.
Yeah, no, there's nothing they can do. And again, similarly to the last round, are you going to risk your economy to try and win a 2v4 scenario? Probably not. Again, that is a lot of what we're seeing from Foot's composition. Is it comes down to gambles. A gamble of Yedege trying to find space, a gamble of running through a smoke on the B side. Like, this is Valorant with unbelievable amounts of risk, and I think Fnatic are doing a great job of limiting their mistakes. Like, that is ultimately what they need to do on this defensive side, is you hold the ground that you're taking in the early round and just don't slip up. Don't give them a gap, don't give them a way to walk through without utility that they just don't have.
The challenge for round 8 on the side of Foot, Viper's Pit available, but lockdown for Alpha.
Here.
The rock to their scissors. See if there's another bit of early aggression coming through. You see the nade and the C's denying Mr. Fallen any space. The A site control is again locked down by Fnatic very early on. They haven't been doing what a lot of teams do, which is post one player and rotate out, just because Foot have contested so many of those early rounds, but this time there will be a rotation for sure. The Chronicle dropped through the smoke, but the intention, having dropped the Viper, who you know is playing on that C side a lot, that's the backup player for Alpha. They suspect Alpha will be that little bit lighter, that little bit more exposed, but the Nanos have bought time and the rotations have come in. Ooh. Alpha finds the first lockdown, comes in, and look who's close. Leo, ready to catch them. And the Viper's Pit coming through very deep as well. That's going to be hard to get back into after the lockdown pulses.
This is so risky. Goes for the last second push through. It's going to be the catch, but that is huge. That single kill and CNED coming alive is what grants Foot another round. It looked like it was going to be a good opportunity there from Fnatic, but again, these gambles working out. Foot taking a risk, and CNED, well, that's the thing. He's rolled green. That's basically what happened there.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, again, I feel like it's very difficult right now to sort of look at him and the way he's going to have to play this map. Because normally we talk about the Jet being that pinnacle player that has a lot of utility. Right now, the most he can really have to support him is either some incredibly well-placed like snake bites or something, or the paranoia. That's about all you could really hope for. Well then.
That's one way to start it.
Yeah, that might have felt like a replay, but it wasn't. That's, again, a second round in a row where we found the opener going in the direction of FUT. It's somewhat of a ludicrous way. I don't know how Durka wins that. Yebajay seemed more than ready. Some odd fights going on. The last round was a spam shot through B that got the opener onto Chronicle. This round was a jumping Alfia that gets caught, but the trade is just as mad.
Boaster's smoke will keep them in it here. You can see he's waiting for that TP to come through. The shrouded step isn't completed by Mr. Fallen, though. He's not throwing this one away. It's a 4 versus 4, but they heard the sting.
Flash. The paranoia used by FUT, that's their
Fallen,
that's their one flash. They didn't go off it. I'm quite surprised.
And they only saw one player pushing, and it was with a stinger. Crazy decision making. Durka caught off the dash, almost drawing his eye for a second, where the other two players are able to find the kill with the smoke fading. Mr. Fallen, good for one heal, right back up, and Ceena's in there for the fight. Hiding inside the smoke. Boaster wasn't ready, and now Leo thinks he has a little bit of time in the sneak through, and there's a wall. Yeah, blocked off. He's not able to melt that wall in time, and 3 players waiting on the other side would definitely be ready for that fight. He's 9-1. Save the stats, Leo. Doesn't want to go down. Carrying this rifle through to the next round will at least give Fnatic something to fight with, but this resurgence from FUT is looking scary now because they're able to punch through and take that space even without the initiator here. Perhaps we'll see a change to the B-side hold from Fnatic.
This VLR rating is going to be off the charts.
Unreal. Not as cast, though, Tom.
What do you mean?
Oh, survived.
True.
Never mind.
That's one of the core stats of cast.
It's such a trash stat. I forget about it as much as I can.
To be honest, I think he may genuinely be on 100% right now.
Let's go, Leo.
Which, considering it's 5-4, might not be the most impressive thing in the world. But again, like, just look at these openers. Like that is right now what FUT are relying on. And Mr. Fallen as well comes up big in some of these fights. Chronicle almost manages to trade back too, but again, it is battles and brawls around these smokes, and Fnatic now, unfortunately, are going to be running out in terms of what they can put on the board. A Bucky, a Stinger, a Sheriff, another Bucky, and a Showstopper alongside the singular rifle saved. That's the thing though. Old school Fnatic, they win this round.
On this map as well? You would feel confident? I mean, you know, your options to use the Bucky are often limited. The A push isn't something I've seen before from this weapon, but you know, you gotta try something.
The thing is, FUT have been almost scared to challenge at this point because of the counter-util and aggressive positions. It seems like their players towards the B side. Oh, that wasn't even close.
That was a warning shot, Tom. That was a warning. Leave my side or else. And this could be tough for Alpha as well. Right click needs to come in. There it is. He's found it, but he's kind of stuck in the utility. His own utility, and the snake bite came through as well. That could have been very scary indeed. An awkward way to lose a player. But so low in the corner, the effect is more or less the same. They haven't spotted Chronicle, and they will now, but at a heavy cost. Dirk up on top of the wall as well. Able to swing through, able to continue pushing. In fact, they're not quite ready for it, but they win the fight anyways. Chronicle from miles away. That player was low, so too is Mr. Fallen. Out of Captain, barely clinging on to life. It's not an easy clutch, but it is winnable. The only problem is, whilst you'll expect Out of Captain to have rotated with the spike and perhaps Out of Captain or Mr. Fallen to have pushed up on A, you might not expect him to be this close. Although he is retreating and giving some space now, as they're not quite sure where Chronicle is.
Planted.
He
heard him.
Yeah, I think he had. Oh.
I thought he did.
No, it doesn't look like it. Will narrow down some of the angles. The thing is, he can quickly switch his gaze back and give a lot of information over. Mr. Fallen as well has his TP if he wants to almost try and play with the emotions of Chronicle, but normally someone more calculated than anyone else. Unfortunately, though, the amount of time that is being burnt just trying to find out where his opponents are is what ultimately leads to his demise. Scoreline equalized 5-5. But again, I kind of want to talk a little bit about expectations. Fnatic, when they were sort of ruling this map, were always incredible on the attack. Like, that was where they sort of led the way. I think it's where this comp as well has some real benefits for sort of reclaiming the space I talk about. I do, however, think that there's good opportunities for FUT's defense because they have so much delay. Like, they don't have the initiators to get them the information, but they're going to be able to burn that clock so ridiculously low And in retakes, they're still going to have everything they had on the attack.
I love that we don't even need to see who's screaming. You already know it's Yinsu. The guy is getting so hyped up. And speaking of Whalers yesterday, it was a big thing they talked about for Gentlemates was how they feed off that momentum. I mentioned to him how you see teams call pauses to calm things down, and I don't notice them doing that. And I think it's the same for FUT in that aspect, where they like to have that energy high. Pause for Fnatic here, well, that's going to force them to take a moment.
I think you could edit Yinsu into like some sort of screamo rock band. Just like, I think you could put that in, and I think it would sound sick. If someone can be bothered, because I can't, that would be really cool.
It will be good. We'll see if we got some
voice for
DJs.
it.
Worst case, we get just Harry to just do another duet with him.
Another one?
Well,
wait, I didn't hit the first one.
He does it with other players in town.
I know.
I don't think he's done one with Yinsu, but hey, we need to solve that problem.
Wow. 5-5 for the last 5 rounds going in the favor of FUT. As said, there's definitely things that look problematic with the way they run the comp, or not even the way that the comp. But they managed to make it work, winning a lot of early fights. Maybe Fnatic in some occasions getting a little bit overzealous. And also this B side. That's where they've had the majority of their success, is going for fights in this direction. And it looks like they might be about to do it again.
No one to catch them off guard this time. No Leo stuck in the corner. Said the B-side's been left pretty much open. Utility is the only thing that was waiting for them there, and even that has now faded away. Speaking of fade, Prowler put through. They know that nobody's on the B-side just yet.
Cover going down.
Rotations come through nonetheless. You can see Boaster here ready to fight Chronicle. Caught one lurking through C. Now it's just the B push to deal with. They didn't see Boaster sneak his way through.
Spike planted.
Seems like they're being cautious of it. They've walled off spawn, so there's not many angles to be worried about. On the way back through, ult used towards the A site. Where is Mr. Fallen going? He's committed that. Mr. Fallen using his ult to go for a late game flank. Now they just use their slows, their utility, to keep these players in position while Mr. Fallen threads the needle. Leo already down. Another for Mr. Fallen on the flank. And that has slowed them possibly enough for Cena to find the opportunity. One more player. He has the dash online, but he doesn't get to use it. Alpha Yair's too quick on the trigger. And with plenty of time left, this round's going to Fnatic.
I do love the way that Mr. Fallen thinks, though. It's like, he basically just goes, buy time, and just like teleports to the other side. And it comes down to the finest of margins, and, well, in the end, it was just if Cena hit the shot or not. That's what it came down to. On the other side, a lot of the utility that was great. Like, you're seeing the impact that fade can have in terms of just finding where these players are. And as they're so locked in, like, Boaster managed to basically hold on to a lot of map control. Nonetheless, we're still going to have a purchase up here, and in fact, it's actually going to be better on the side of FUT. And CNED's gone for that attack side operator. Now, he does have the Blade Storm available to him.
Oh, I like this. B-side a little bit more stacked up on now because you've got Viper's Pit and Utility. Viper's Pit used deep. I thought it would be playing off the Killjoy util, but instead Chronicle is casting a very wide net. There's no chance they sneak past him with the alarm
He
bot
gets
waiting.
one tap. I don't know what it is. I just look at FUT and I'm going, he's getting one tap.
It's CNED, isn't it?
It's a random
Op
spray.
shot.
Random shot is just going to one tap him.
Let's see if that's the case. Looks like he's dodging a lot of shots, but eventually he's going to be caught. Not quite a one-tap Tom, but the job's
He
being
almost
done.
got killed by the blades, and that's the thing, they get the rest. So it doesn't even matter. That trade for a Viper's Pit and Chronicle down! Oh, almost. It's almost caught. The thing is, though, FUT, they've just put their foot on the brake. Just patiently waiting. The rotations have been pulled. You can see Durka now making his way back over to A.
Where is exactly?
And they now have all of the information they could ever desire.
Yeah, the pings already went through the first time. Another on its way. Confirming where these spots are. Durka tagged down to 62. It's going to be a very tough hold for him. Door open. 2 players committing. TP comes in from Boaster. And Durka's playing Ring a Rosie. They should hear the steps, but they haven't realized. Mr. Fallen saves the day. Keeps it winnable for the side of FUT. And another kill out of Yinsu gives them the advantage. The ult used by Boaster leaves him on the back side with 12 seconds left. They have to really pick up the pace. And it's the B site where the plant will come through. 8 seconds. 7 as it's planted. And that denial seems almost impossible. Leo does well to find the first, even spotting the next player with a shorty, with just 22 HP. It would be enough. Reload had to come through, though. At a captain running. He's miles away, just now making it as the defuse is already half, and it's being stuck. But At a captain suspects it. just about tying it up at halftime, 6-6. It's hard to separate these teams, Tom.
Yeah, honestly, I think the only reason that this comp has worked whatsoever is because of the mid-rounding from Mr. Fallen. Yeah, I think you have anyone else leading this team, and it would be shocking. Not the word I wanted to use, but that's the thing. He's just so good at, like, even in the last 10 seconds there, he decides to run back to the B site because he's realized that that's where the rotation's gone in the other direction. It is just clever stuff from him, even on an individual level, popping off as well. But for Fnatic, as said, they now go in to that attack side. This is where they've always been better, even if maybe versus mates that wasn't necessarily the case. General mates run weird comps. I can never take the numbers that you get versus them. You might get banged, you might win, it doesn't matter. But a pistol round could make all the difference. For FUT, as said, they've got a lot of delay, they've got a lot of utility that can cause issues, but they don't have a lot of information. That only really comes from Yedajay.
Looks like Yedajay is going to be decently isolated in the beginning as well. The A site was being left alone. Mr. Fallen sticks around.
Watching here.
Traps in awkward positions. Fnatic have given up control elsewhere on the map. I don't expect to see them turning back and moving the other direction, even watching for a flank play to come through. They know how much control they've conceded. Play up towards the orb and try to bait a fight. But for now, we're seeing a very, very patient side to FUT, and it's the right way to play. You don't want to get ahead of these traps, especially in a pistol. They're expensive to invest into. You want to get the value out of them. And also, probably the best chance for them not checking on the pistol rounds.
Cracks use the wall. That's the thing that comes into mind. Because it's just annoying now. Again, you got 40 seconds. You almost have to start going back in the other direction, which is exactly what they do, which is where Seedhead is. You put up your human turret to try and delay them that little bit further.
Left.
The reposition, now they have to try and go back, which involves, again, still the problem of the wall. They haven't solved problem number one, so they have to try and run away from Seedhead and look in the corner. It's just waiting, but they do manage to get the kill. That's at least given them something. 15 seconds left on the clock. Mr. Fallen is still here. Cracks is still here, and the spike is dropped in the open. It's all falling apart for Fnatic as FUT pull out a perfect pistol round.
And end of the round, as the timer hits 0, the wall still wasn't gone. For a second, I thought Mr. Fallen was trapped inside because of the wall, but no, he had teammates up in heaven, and a firing squad comes through. A tough round to deal with.
They planned that from the beginning. Like that's the thing I love about some of the rounds you'll see from FUT, is the wall was to direct them towards CNED. They get directed towards CNED, and if you're a logical human being, you go, nah.
Nope, other way.
Okay,
other way.
how do I get back round? Then you have Yedajay close towards tree, and then second and third player back on the side. It's just a good pistol from FUT.
Yeah. 3A, 1B. Where do you go? B. New information. The B player's CNED. Oh, well, the A side's looking good these days. Nice spray from CNED to grab 2, but the pistol, so able to overwhelm with numbers. The rifle, not necessarily retrievable, but the flash will actually get it. Now picked up by Boaster. Leo tagged down low. 30 HP. As the K fades away. Mr. Fallen's got a good position. They'll go back to clear it. They have to, but they don't check the right side. Still looking to cause havoc. There's another on the low HP player. And finally, it's only Boaster. Got a kill with a classic because he needed the reload. And now the gun's fully loaded for whoever wants to pick it up. Nice upgrade to finish it off. And FUT, they sustained 2 losses. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's a little bit of extra damage. It's a couple of extra orbs, especially with the plant as well. But the only thing they lose of any value is that Spectre. So it's not too much of a problem. They're going to get themselves further into the lead, and there needs to be a pretty immediate response here. Now, as I said, I've always enjoyed watching Fnatic's attack side. I think Boaster has some of the best. Similarly to Mr. Fallen, I think we've got some great attack side callers. Those late rotations on this map are going to be integral, and we saw that on Split. That both teams had decent reads on how things were going to go. However, I am looking at Mr. Fallen. Again, now he's running the Bucky, and somehow I think what he's going to try and do will be more ridiculous.
I'd take those odds.
He's not even using it, he's just using the classic through the smoke.
To be honest with you, Tom, if he was using the Bucky there, I think we'd have to remove him from the stage. That's not on.
My eyes are down.
Maybe even just faking out as well. I've only got a classic over here, don't push me.
Ooh, look at me.
And then he can get the Wrath of God as they come in. We'll see. The boomstick's going to work. Smoke already down, and the players are gravitating towards this spot. And look, expectations. Maybe he gets a kill. Maybe. The surprise element. But more than that, shouldn't really come through.
If he gets more than one as a solo C site anchor with a Bucky,
Watching here.
I'm going to be both happy and sad.
Find you.
Oh, actually kind of safe because, well, never mind, never mind. No, there was no safety. Very well dealt with. And the way back through is not going to be easy. Closest player is Yedege. Okay, well, they did catch Alpha unaware. Closest player was Yedege with a Bucky in hand. Now some upgrades to the players coming behind, and they might even funnel them in towards Yedege. I mean, where are you going to go on Fnatic? You've lost control over this. Where's Yedege going to go?
No, he
He's
wants
going
a
right back
better
around to
gun.
the door. Yeah, he's going to group up with his team. I like
He
it.
does not want to play on the retake with a Bucky. See that though, he's not waiting at all. Leo will take him out, the trade immediate. Keep things even, Boaster. Paper walls, hit the spray with, and he's going to take down all three! The IGL leading the charge as they'll win themselves the bonus.
You know what, Jake? Real recognize real. That was a beautiful play. That was a goddamn beautiful play. And you know, it's always good to see players investing into the Odin. On this map especially, early rounds, spams can always be good, but recently I think we've just been blessed with those C-site plays. And so many 3Ks from that position. Enzel did it better.
One enemy remaining.
Either way, 8-7. That was the bonus for FUT, so they're going to come back in strong with another gun. Round on every single player. Early spams looking to try and deny that space, but again, a lot of what FUT can do on this A site is just play incredibly passive. I'll say the Odin actually has an extra level of value in this match just for breaking Sage walls. It's not something I thought I'd say, but it is going to be one of the fastest ways to ruin that strategy for FUT. But that's the interesting thing. This is so different to a lot of other comps they run where they're constantly pressuring, aggressing around the map. They are literally as far back as they could be. The furthest forward position is holding tree.
They're taking this one extremely slow, making noise, and you can see the effect it's having on that defense from FUT. They very quickly rotate in to stack up on the B side. The A side has 2, B has 3, and C is wide open. Obviously, we have that camera there and a trap to spot them moving through. The cam has now got the information. That's at least 4 of them spotted. The rotations come back to the C site, but a little bit too late. I think Fnatic are already going to be set up here. Yedege wants to get ahead of it. And it's off the trap. He grabs his kill, and he's back out. Beautiful play.
Yeah, that's such a smart setup from them. And it's disgusting from CNED. Another headshot connected through the wall. He's always a man to fear. Peek out from Leon. He's been dinked as well. He's basically headshot every single player. He might not necessarily get the reward of the numbers, but he wants to try and hunt them down. 10 seconds remaining. This round is already over. The question is, does CNED get to finish his dinner? Because he is not wanting to let these remaining players of Fnatic survive. Alpha in the corner will at least remove him. Leo's caught another. I don't know how they've even survived that long, but both kills in the end go to Cracks.
Big punish. No economy saved over for Fnatic means a week, maybe even no buy coming into the next round. I love this from Yedege. He realizes he has an opportunity with that trap to grab a kill. This is insane, though. He literally did headshot at least 4 players.
He didn't headshot the first one because
the first one
was already dead.
But the other 4,
everyone else he did.
Clean as can be. Wall in the way, doesn't matter. And we saw that from CNED the last time he was playing Tom. The guy was just tapping through every single wall he could. Wallbang God the last 2 weeks. 9-7, strong position for FUT to play from, and it's only going to get stronger. Fnatic have next to nothing. As we said, a lot of weaknesses in this buy, and you can see it. It's pretty bottom heavy on the hood. Some rifles, Stinger, and 2 classics to work with.
Big thing is the Nightfall. That's the one thing, especially with all these weapons, that can actually pad some of the gaps, because you bring the HP low, a Stinger goes in, it's a kill. It's just whether or not they actually want to commit it. They are all building up to this side of the map, and it's an ult in a low buy round that I wouldn't necessarily mind seeing used. It's just, especially after losing Chronicle, do you think you can win it?
That's it. Yeah, Chronicle only had the pistol to play with, but the reality is the wall, the utility, and the post-plant ability is what you're hoping for. One less player to recover a rifle as well. Sneak through, nice attempt, but Alpha Yair, they were ready for that. And that is the rifle. That's the biggest thing that they had in this round, no doubt. They want to get back aggressive into this position. Oh, that, Captain, that's nasty carry on. Durka will get an orb the hard way, unfortunately.
Oh. For Leo and Boaster, It now becomes about damage. CNED just on the blade storm. Definitely not as clean on the first few dives, but the last one works out for him. FUT are starting to run away with this one. 10-7 on the defensive side. As has been mentioned before, they've never been able to have a victory over Fnatic. I think they played them in their strongest era, so that's not that surprising. But they came into today, even still, with most people probably favoring Fnatic. You can't really blame them. It's been a resurgence over the last few weeks, even with the hiccups. They've had crazy comebacks, big streaks. But now they come up against a team that, as said at the beginning of the day, I think this is a relatively even match. Right now, FUT are firmly in the driver's seat.
Beautiful taste of revenge with 3 more rounds. FUT will break the curse up against Fnatic, finally take a win in a series and get revenge. They were eliminated from the Champions run by this very squad, our own region, put against each other. Cruel, Tom. It was cruel to see that happen. And FUT had a lot of promise in Champs as well. Yeah. There were, you know, when we went in there, I thought they can go far. After a couple days, I was thinking they could go all the way. But this time, it's Fnatic with one more pause. They've called it here to have a chat with Elma Putty and Kojo. Can't take away his experience. And see exactly what they want to do for these last couple rounds. Or at least what could be the last few. One mistake here, and FUT may just run away with it.
I do think we have both teams where it's like, there's only one guy in that room doing the talking. I would love to see anyone try and interrupt guys. Like, oh, actually, I have a... Like, just staring him down. Just holds his mute button and just carries on talking. 10-7, though. Ultimate's still there. You're still going to have that Nightfall, as said. Very good for these sort of takes. I actually again think that that's where the Sage Will could be, and the Slows could be a pretty nasty counter. It's commonly used towards that A site. C less so, just because of the space that's there. But Fnatic are building up in that direction. They're clearly very wary. Durka, he's actually scared of being spammed after the last round. PTSD.
That's what it's all about. I mean, and if you can do that with a normal rifle, just imagine if an Odin was in play. You got to approach this part of the map with some respect, the sense of fear.
It's a noob gun, you don't need it.
Well, I'm not sure about
If
that.
you're good enough.
Poster uses it a lot, so I look forward to you saying that to him later.
Where's he on the board?
All right, well, there was no need for that. Above Yedege, Mr. Fallen picks up the opening. Durka down and out of the round. That's a big player for Fnatic, out of the equation already. FUT don't need to overextend. They can play this one slow, but they are sending out a captain to grab that little bit of extra space on the C push-up already. Mr. Fallen gets tagged, but the plan also secured. Fnatic have things going their way at long last. Look at where Alpha Yair is. That guy's miles away, looking to catch rotations from A, but they've grouped up together. The only risk they're willing to take here is the flank that's now being spotted. Ada captain in a known position. Perfect snake fight, but impossible to follow up on. Chronicle has to swing out. Hello?
I think he knew he was dead either way. Just wanted to see if he could survive in the corner, but it doesn't work out for him, and now they're all being picked apart. Alpha left to try and clutch this out. Meets a shotgun on the other side, does land the first headshot, but again, the trades are so quick from the side of FUT.
Bit of a disaster. I don't know if I'd rather go down to a snake bite or try to take the fight.
You're right, yeah. I think he was just maybe thinking in his head, like, if I could survive with 1 HP, then it's worth it, but...
Well, then that guy has to cross your teammates to fight you, right? So yeah, it does make sense. It also looks extremely funny. Yeah,
he was unlucky. It literally faded the next second.
Yep, the next tick. But it was at his feet the whole time. There was no way out. We could see that. And, well, he can see that in hindsight.
Yeah, you can actually see how the captain just laughed. He's like, how am I going to kill?
From the grave.
I died about 8 seconds ago.
A little bit of martyrdom for Ada Captain. 11-7, and Fnatic, look, they've still got some credits. It's rolling now. Loss bonus built up because you got FUT winning round after round. This is where Fnatic need to respond. That was really last round because now FUT are in the home stretch. 2 more to take it across the line. And CNED, yeah, he got tagged, but he's healed right back up, and he's not going to. There's no way he's going to start tapping through that wall. I don't believe it.
You see the wallbang as he did earlier?
You just got sprayed by an Odin, though. That would be, I mean, you know, I almost do believe he would do it.
I believe he would do
shocking.
it and win, but he's been a bit more calm, a bit more tentative. Slows already put through. Again, it's just irritating. You're not going to want to try and face off against anybody on the other side. Instead, though, again, they try and double back. But look at where the players from FUT are. There's already a couple ready and waiting. you've also got trips that need to be cleared, and so far they haven't been.
The cam's being destroyed, only spotted 2. Oh, great trap on the way in. Spraying against an Odin is a risky game. Mr. Fallen comes out alive at least, so the advantage stays towards this squad. Even if they lose one, Krax has
30
res to
seconds
fall
left.
back on. No ultimates in play for Fnatic. Alfier could have his lockdown if he finds one, but even the position to use that right now would be tough. Alarmbot's covering his back at least, so he's got a safe spot for the time being. Foot getting ready to go for their fight. They've just popped a heal to bring everyone back up to full HP. Out of Captain again with the snake bite. He's been good on them so far, but Chronicle punishing player after player. Leo's there to back him up as well. This is looking better for Fnatic, keeping essential control. If Alpha can hold this position, I don't think they can even get this spike diffused. And, well, if he takes out the whole team, that's another thing. Mr. Fallen down to 60 in time, running very, very low. Another kill comes in. Oh, and they find Chronicle! The swing was there to see if the defuse was being stuck, and just about in time, Foot will get it across the line. 12-7. That's a devastating loss for Fnatic.
Yeah, I think the Alpha did incredibly well to try and hold on to that ground. Loses the fight to the shorty, but they just get baited out by a singular tap, expecting that the spams would be enough, knowing that the time was low enough. And that's enough for both players to land their shots, and that's exactly what FUT have been doing throughout this game. Mr. Fallen, by the way, 22-12. Wow, I said it. Brains and brawn. This guy is on point, eclipsing even CNED at this stage. And wow, 5 rounds in a row needed for Fnatic. For a very long time, they were unstoppable on this map. Other than facing off against Loud, it is looking like a change of guard. There's already CNED. He didn't like the fact that I said Mr. Fallen had eclipsed him. I wouldn't be surprised if he aces this round.
I can get behind that strap for Yedege. Doesn't look like he'll have the opportunities. Players already moving it towards the other side. Foot, advantage to play with, but up against a Viper's Pit and a Showstopper, it's scary time. CNED now updrafting above the rocket, but he falls anyways. Picked out of the sky by Leo, and the Viper's Pit seems to cement this round. 2 versus 4.
If they get 1 kill, they do have the res. That's the only thing. Like, there's not really a position where he can use the res. Like, all the players are in pretty awkward positions.
Oh, he almost had it. He
Never
almost
listen to
had it.
Mitch. I'm sorry, Yedege. That was your biggest flaw. Like, if you've seen Mitch's predictions, you should know that it's never a good idea.
Come on now. Enzo would have hit it, I'm just saying.
Liquid will win this time, I swear.
All right. Well, there was no need for that, Tom. Fresh wounds. They've been fresh wounds for a long time, I'll be honest.
Fresh wounds every week.
They get freshened up every week. 4 more for Fnatic to bring us to a map 3. Bind. I was very excited when I heard Bind was in this pool as well. These 2 teams clashing there will be one to remember, but we might not get all the way. Foot out for revenge. And with 4 ultimates in the tank for this round, a full buy achieved as well. And considering the fact that Fnatic haven't yet managed to string together a second round on their attack, things are looking good for this to close out here and now.
Further chance. Put themselves further up the standings. Get themselves in a pretty decent spot when it comes to next week's matches. Obviously still competing with the likes of Gentlemates and Heretics on the other side of things. That group is very much wide open. Fnatic were the ones leading the charge, but as of right now, everyone else could catch up.
Careful. I have
Already going to be trying to take that orb, but I think they're just baiting for it. Alt's not particularly close other than Alpha, and already information has been garnered.
They still have a lot of players left out. They were watching C push passively. Even saw movement to B, but this time they won't be opening the door on Fnatic and moving through that B side. Instead, they think the weakness is on A. Stepping forward, they need to be careful. Cracks on the angle. As soon as that wall is broken, he'll be ready to strike, but they fight further deeper in. Already seeing one trap, not destroying it. Oddly enough, the lockdown will come through, and that's sending players miles off the site. A retake has to be attempted.
30 seconds left.
This is where, again, that composition definitely doesn't work as nicely as they would have hoped. The same problems they had, although I say that, Cena's already pushing directly in. They don't want to allow this to get into an afterplant at all, but most has done well. Cena caught in the corner. He should be dead here. There should be no way out. He swings, but he's only going to get one. And now out of Captain. The main thing is the time. They're going for that plant. If he can somehow deny it, there would be hope.
Spike
But
planted.
instead, he's going to have to try and pull this off. And from behind, slowly walking through, comes Ducker. No expectation there. Fnatic, again, they're going to continue this climb. Still 3 more needed.
3 in a row. Well, they've at least managed to find 2 now. Something to work with. I like the adaptation because we could actually see FUT were ready for the play through B. They had Yedege close, a trap there as well. If that door was broken and they went blitzing through as they had before, they would have been sectioned off. And Cracks would have broken that wall to fight from the other side. It would have been a massacre. But instead, they adjust the strategy. They catch FUT off guard with a more direct approach. A good round for Fnatic. Again, though, Viper's Pit and Rez online for FUT. This round, not one where they're likely to use them. Bucky's alongside a Phantom and a few Sheriffs. The defensive side has no shortage of weaknesses to play with.
As long as FUT don't win it here. That's what I'm saying. I just don't. Not this round.
Historically, Tom,
Not this
this
round.
game's already over.
Not with Bucky's. Come on. They haven't had the success with Bucky's.
True.
You've
Yeah.
not seen that yet.
I've
With
seen it
everything else.
Classics.
Yeah.
So that's
Classic
where I get
is
worried.
fundamentally a better gun than the Bucky. I'm just saying.
Placing swarm grenade.
I feel
Swarm
somehow.
grenade out.
No. Yeah, okay, yeah. No, I'll agree with you there. It's also free, which, you know, in contrast, you just wasted 800 credits, but it is what it is. With 3 rounds in between them, I almost feel like this is going to be a round where we see that res, where it's going to get close enough for FUT to be able to pull it across the line, or at least believe they can. Again, Yedege is in position, this time with a Bookie. When the players are coming one at a time, Barrel spotted and a shot landed, but damage only down to 9 HP. It's enough for Chronicle to survive. And CNED is forced off the angle. They'll pursue him too. Don't want to overheat in a round like this. Durka waiting for the swing up close. I hope I don't see him go aggressive, although I feel like he might win this fight if he does. It's Mr. Fallon with a Bookie on the other side. Not a favorable fight for that close range angle. Just waiting.
Oh, good
the rest of
timing.
the squad to group up.
Yeah, they've already managed to take out CNED. And a captain may even just have to consider holding onto the gun. No, he's running. Bear in mind, this is the only rifle they had in this round, and he's going to get spotted. And Andaluthia flawless. Fnatic, they're doing it again as they start to really get close to taking this one to overtime. 3 rounds in a row now for them. But again, this is where the guns come up. This is where FUT have another opportunity to deny them. That Nightfall once again is online for Leo. He has had a fantastic match so far. It's sort of night and day. Putting him on that breach, it sometimes feels like he's just unable to put up the same numbers. But now back on the fade, he's looked fantastic.
Yeah, Leo's definitely been in a much better position to take a lot of these duels, like we said, split. Similar to back in the day when you see everybody was playing a jet. Every map, your jet will pop off. You go to somewhere like Split, you go to Haven, your jet's not doing well on the attack side. And people going, God, is this guy just washed? Is he bad? Is he just trash at the game? No, it's your role. And sometimes you got to slot into that. Leo did well so far in this map, but there's a lot more left in the tank for Fnatic. At least you have to hope so. 2 more in a row needed. And FUT still have those dangerous ultimates. Blade Storm's coming online for CNED as well. 1 more hurdle for Fnatic. All credits on the line for FUT. They'll still scrape together a final round buy if needed, but this pause is being taken to ensure they don't.
Yeah, this is where they can try and figure out a plan. All they need is 1. That Viper's Pit can cause issues, but with Nightfall, it can be tough. CNED 1 away from Bladestorm, a res. He may want to just even do something hyper-aggressive if they can trade, bring him back, comes back with a Bladestorm. It's not bad. The problem is it doesn't really fit with what their comp allows. It has to be this slower passive style, which has never really been FUT's game, but it's been working for them here. Going to try and figure out early on if there's been any aggression, but other than the Viper's Pit, it's very passive.
Yeah, well, they have that pit down. They have double stack on C, but then the interesting thing is CNED is playing inside the tree, expecting this is a part of the map that Fnatic want to contest for. If that door swings open, things could get scary. Now, he's been here before. They've seen him in this spot. It looks like they will be pulling it back after an initial spam, trying to keep players in position. The target here is C.
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of what we see from Fnatic is late rotations to that B site. They love to do it through the broken door, and they love to do it back through from C.
Going out.
But if they do that here, they're going to end up hitting into a Viper's Pit, which maybe with a Nightfall could be enough. But it feels like this has to be more of a direct take.
There's no way back now. 40 seconds on the clock, no map control. Time to take those fights. Paranoia is already going to be burned up from the defensive side, so limited in terms of the reactions. The spam puts Mr. Fallen down to 8 HP, and here comes the push. Durka sprinting around as they're deafened by the nightfall, and he'll grab 2 for his trouble. Almost the third. Cracks just about holding on to control. They need to take this site. They don't want to offer him the ability to pop a res and make this competitive again. But on their way forward, they will be walking into almost all of FUT with 12 seconds left. We need to see that spike hit the floor very, very soon.
Left.
The cross from FUT as they attempt to deny it. Watched by Alpha, but the shot is missed. Here's the swing up close, and he'll land his shot. 4 seconds. Spike has to be planted and almost denied. CNET gives his life for it, but it's not worthwhile. Leaving it in a 1v3 for Cracks. He finds the first. And a player up in front through the smoke. One more for an ace to close out this map, to put Fnatic in the dumpster, but he won't find it. It's been 4 in a row for Fnatic, streaking together these attack side rounds at the last possible moment to keep them in this series. 12 for FUT. 1 round left to fight for. We could be going to overtime.
Cracks wanted this so bad. I love the fact that Durka just utilizes that Nightfall to perfection. Knows his opponents can't hear, picks up the pace, but this guy is just so clean with it. Cracks almost single-handedly dragging them through. And while 1 round up against a weaker purchase, sure, you got the Blade Storm. It's only really Mr. Varland that's taken a big hit here. But I'm also looking at Durka 1 away from that showstopper. Actually, Alpha, he's opted to keep that operator, maybe expecting this will finally be the time that FUT throw in some aggression. It is not.
Much bigger stack out of FUT this time on tree. CNET there, alone in previous rounds. Now it's 3 players stacked up. And it's not a position that Fnatic are particularly interested in moving towards. In fact, they've now been spotted on the way to C. We've seen this a couple of times. The option to go back through the door is definitely there this time around. But with the showstopper online, Durka priming himself to move on through and a Prowler ready in hand. I think this is going to be a full blitz in. Paranoia already used. That's his sign. In he goes. Where does the rocket get shot? It's going to be a gamble wherever he fires it. Player down below. He spotted him. And he's out for free. Big kill for Durka. The site now taken by Fnatic. There's a bit of congestion still there, but the spike will be planted. In the overtime, looking possible, looking doable. This man CNET needs to be the spanner in the works.
Yeah, the res still available, but it's whether they can find a spot to use it. That'll be Mr. Fallen back. Operator not being able to land that shot. CNET already tagged, so this Blade Storm's going to be much more difficult to get value from it. In fact, Leo puts him down immediately. Chronicle's there as well. It's happening again as they will take us to overtime. Fnatic always leaving late, but somehow they always turn up.
I'll tell you what, they sure know how to put on a show, Tom. What an exciting game. Yeah. 5 in a row.
There's a lot of Fnatic fans here, you know, you got to give them some time. It's not like yesterday, you know, where the most rounds we saw was 7. We don't want games like that.
No, absolutely not. Like I said, these are the most exciting games where it's 2 teams playing to the highest level. And that's what we're getting out of this one. An overtime on map number 2. Bind hangs in the balance, but this was the pick of Fnatic. We should have known. They're not going to drop the resilience just yet. And now we move into this next, this OT round. And Odin bought up by Boaster, but everyone else has the rifles. 3 away from Rez, the pushing and pulling of the map, the playing for orbs. The plants could even play such a big role. It's time to get this one started. And it looks like, again, we'll see that same setup now that Fnatic are on the defense. Sees nade and Rubble control.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think FUT definitely found the gap. The gap was the B site. That was where they continuously pushed. The turret's going to find that contact. Already, Leo might have to just make a decision of whether or not he really wants to battle for this, but an immediate smoke thrown out by Boaster. He doesn't want to allow the Swede to come under pressure, at least this early in the round. The fact is, though, I think FUT will be quite happy with that. They've managed to burn a fair amount of utility in what is in the first 45 seconds of the round.
They left Leo playing passive towards spawn or A support for so long, but this play, hiding in the corner, worked wonders in the past. And one of the big things is not having an initiator to play through. They've cleared it this time, though. They've spotted him, not going to fall twice to the same mistake. Foot with the opening pick with the B site control. Here comes Boaster, big gun in hand, and, well, a tough position to try to get value from because they can spam right back at him, and there is the real problem. The counter spams, the kills with the lurk from Captain on C, and Fnatic have fallen apart on this defensive round. Foot rightly pinpointing the weakness as the B site, catching the kill on the way through and leaving them with next to nothing. Alpha even down to 19 HP and caught by a player further back. The snake bite gets another kill. Captain popping off with the utility, and 13-12. Foot have another chance to close out this series.
Yeah, I would have been upset if they fell for that twice. And then that was the thing, this B site, I almost expected to see more of a gamble in that direction from the side of Fnatic. The problem is you need to hold on to that A control. You don't want to allow them to get into an A site after plant, so you gambled. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out for them. The Boaster, a bit of a Hail Mary play as well, didn't work. But now we go back into what was, as said, the stronger side for Fnatic. Back onto that attack like nothing ever happened, as they're going to try and level things up again.
Again, love to see this. The clears from Boaster really hasn't gotten too looky on these sprays. Either team as well. I mean, trying to section off some map control or at least provide some punishes, but last round, even the aggressive push, I think he tagged Mr. Fallen for 20 damage through the wall. It's been negligible at best. The attack side of Fnatic, they struggled in the start. They found their footing. And now look at this aggression out of CNET. He has to fall back. Dash online, ready to be used. And there you go.
He's just too confident. He was so ready to just let the boombot hit him, even without shields. If he could take someone with him. The thing is, forcing him back was actually a crucial part for Fnatic. The thing is, it has not worked.
But Reddit,
the idea was to try and pull players away from this A site, and it hasn't. In fact, they're gambling more and more as the seconds go by.
Well, the cam just got destroyed as well, giving away that there are players here. The door open. They know the wall is down now. Looks like they'll try to angle their way towards this side of B. Yedijay's been here a couple of times, the bookie last time, and now they'll punish him for what? With a shorty, he gets a kill. Krax tries to fill the gaps and find another, but ends up going down. It's keeping the numbers even, but with the kills acquired, Durka has a showstopper online. 12 seconds left, and it's time to go. Showstopper, where's it committed? The slow keeps it in position, and the shot from CNET makes this so winnable. They have to plant it here and now, and here come the defenders, flooding into the site, leaving it all on the Boaster. The shot is missed, though. CNET down to 43 HP. Boaster upgrades to the Phantom and finds the final kill to keep Fnatic alive. It's chaotic, but in the end, it's another overtime.
I love the fact that you've got Boaster standing up, almost like flexing on CNET, and it cuts to CNET, and he is just laughing. Yeah. Because the fact is, he took gamble after gamble with what he was doing on the Jet. The first couple of shots he hit, like it's just a split second. I think this one as well was just as absurd. And his last bullet in the clip, you would have bet your house on him hitting it after the last two. But that was the first one he missed. Fnatic are going to take themselves another pause. It is heating up. And the fact is, there could still be another map. There could still be one more map.
Oh, yeah.
If Fnatic managed to drag this over the line.
Oh, yeah. They got to keep their energy in check moving through this series because it ain't over yet. One more overtime and a pause called for Fnatic. Taking time to touch base yet again. Last round, they fell apart on the defense. Same rubble control that worked again and again. They got themselves in position. But Captain being able to thread the needle on C, come up behind them. And of course, I mean, there's certain aspects you can't blame them for. Some of the pop-offs from Foot have been next level. Mr. Fallen, he slowed down a little bit, but that's more so because CNET's catching up.
Oh yeah, and you know those 10 assists as well. Those are damage. Yeah. There's no way that they're...
Not a cloudburst, no?
Cloudburst. No, that was him headshotting someone for like 120 and not getting the kill. Here we go again, though. No surprise, it's going to be an early challenge for the control towards Rubble. That has been successful in the majority. It does look like CNET might try and challenge it this time, though.
Oh, we love to see it. He's out. He's aggressive. The dash is online, and that's through the wall. He's even made it back. Boaster punishes eventually. But that pick, oh, that makes this map so much harder to defend. Still, the Killjoy setup on B and Alarm Bot on C with Viper there to slow them down. This left side of the map is going to be where the real weaknesses lie for now. I see the rotations of Fnatic though. Leo already breaking the door, getting up close. Able to help out on the B side hold, but with the utility destroyed, Tom, this is where the real trouble comes through because they're playing this blind, and the decision from Fnatic seems to be to leave B relatively open, just Leo holding onto it.
And that's been the plan in the majority of rounds. You saw the last attack round FUT had. He got overwhelmed, attempting to try and play an aggressive position. The gun's been spotted. They know that he's here. Energy is threatened the needle as well for the trade. Immediate. Alpha's done a lot of damage as well to Ana Captain. They are definitely being a little bit more aggressive when it comes to this spot. The fact is, though, it looks like they might try and double back over towards A, and that is where Boaster is currently sitting. He has
30
not
seconds left.
moved.
Gave up a lot of control. Probably the right call in this scenario. He's going back into the A side. Of course, it's been a while since they've had any information to play with. There's the smoke down. Boaster's going to make the call. He's heard it. His own smoke goes through, but it won't do much. Wall up, denies his push around this side. Plant is secured.
Spike planted.
They still don't know where Boaster is. I think that's going to be one of the bigger problems if they do go to back side to take that control, but we can see FUT move elsewhere. It's a mid play.
Yeah, again, it's just such an obscure plant that originally Boaster's position had so much value. Now, though, it's going to be revealed. Wrapping back, you got the counter paranoias. Again, just buying time. That's the only real goal at the moment for FUT, is to try and slow this clock as much as possible. Snakebite is going to do that. Chronicle throws one down in counter, but again, the spams can still be there. Already, he's managed to get it to half, though. And now they're worried about Boaster. He hasn't let go of him. Mr. Farnan at the last second has jumped in. And now it's left all onto Alfier. He can't quite correct in time. Again, the IGL is the hero for FUT, as they once more get an attack round.
Oh, things are getting scary. The attack side's been winning round after round. Just take a look at the timeline when we get back in the game. The defense has been where the real struggles are, but this one came so close. We're going to see it here in the replay, I imagine. That defuse was almost completed right under their nose, and it's this. It's a ridiculous way to finish it. If I'm not mistaken, the Viper orb might have been up to add some decay to make that easier, but either way, very lucky that he even had the shorty in that scenario.
That freeze rate was perfect.
That's how everybody felt. It's all about that double barrel. 14-13, and FUT call a timeout. This is their chance to push it across the line. All they have to do is crack the code of the defensive rounds.
Yeah, all they have to do is crack the code that they didn't manage to crack the last 6 times that they tried it. And the last time they almost managed to do it was because Cracked almost aced the round on his own. Yeah. So it definitely is one of those scenarios where it's gonna be, if this now is the victory, maybe it comes off individual brilliance, maybe it comes out from guys, because again, we know that this guy is just fantastic when it comes to setting up this team. He has built the Turkish powerhouse over time as well, picking up 2 players just at the beginning of the year after a Champions run, which it's a gamble. Like top 8 at Champions for FUT, I think many would have gone, wow, you've done incredibly well. Yep. That wasn't enough for them. They are not one of those teams that's just looking to consistently make it close. The goal is to win. Well, they're close right now. Again, though, back to the attack. The gamble seems to be away from the A site in the early stages of the round. As said, both teams have been very happy to double back towards this B site, and FUT are betting on it this time.
Last time they managed to root CNET out of position with a boom bot. Nobody swung in front of it. No opportunities given to this Jet to find the kills. This time, though, he hides behind the box with a dash still online. He's been seen. The boom bot's now on the other side. They're going to need something else. It's a Prowler instead. Send after him. He counts and fires away as he gets caught. But no shots landed this time. His dash already burned up. But if they take a step up on Mound. Oh, he almost had the chance. He almost did. Gave it up just in time. Fnatic get close. They make noise. And now they're running away. But from the rotation of Yedushe, Tom, it almost looks like they heard that. And I think that was the intention.
Yeah, I think the idea is to try and bait them away, but when you have the slows on the other side of the map, you don't really need to. CNET on this one, leg shot connected. He's done damage, but now that execution begins again. Snakebite downs on both sides. Ana Captain trying to thread the needle, but it's Leo to take him out. Again, CNET's going to hit a wallbang, but it doesn't even matter. They've got the entries that they needed. Yedoje is still here, maybe hoping that he can do something on the spam. No, he actually goes above, does some extra damage onto Poster, but he's got to be careful. That's an Odin on the other side. Snake Bite's used again to try and deny him, but now it seems to be in favor of FUT, as the Fnatic roster almost look to just try and escape. Find a passive angle to spam from, buy extra little bits of time, but again, the trades are immediate. Chronicle hasn't been spotted. He's trying to wrap around on the site, and it's left all up to the leader. Boaster, with only 17 bullets, he might just run out. Has to go for the reload, but they haven't even got close to half yet. They're just trying to bait him in. They're trying to kill him. They know that that time is ticking, and eventually, FUT get the job done. It is a victory that they've never managed to take before. But there's a first time for everything.
Revenge must taste sweet. They sat across the stage on the international scene in Champions, facing their EMEA comrades, facing Fnatic, and they were sent home by them. And now, in the regular season, FUT look absolutely untouchable. This squad has bested opponent after opponent. Sure, they took that loss to Vitality, a team that's definitely on the upward trajectory. But with KC and Fnatic under their belt, this team's looking deadly.
Yeah, and it's one of those games as well where I think you'll sit there and you go, okay, maybe this isn't the Fnatic of last year. I think a lot of people will be talking that, but I also think this isn't the FUT from last year. And that's the way I want to look at this. This team has come in, they have picked up comps that people go objectively, this should not work. And they have done it time and time again, and they have made it work. They have so many unique and interesting ideas, and that's the thing today. When they played it last time, KC didn't know it was coming. They didn't know the idea was there. They didn't know they were going to play no initiator. Fnatic had the data, they had the idea, they have some of the biggest brains in Valorant, and they still couldn't stop the Turkish powerhouse.
Well, last time they were able to drop Kiwi in Champions when he was playing the Jet. Who would have thought CNET on a Jet can actually match pound for pound? If anything, a little bit better. Top fragging the server, although he's tied
with Mr.
first.
Fallen.
Yeah, tied with Mr. Fallen. What a beautiful team assembled by this Turkish squad. And I have to say, the way they played here today, they are definitely looking like a top contender. I think the KC match was a good sign, taking down Fnatic here, making them run at the distance, even defeating the Fnatic comeback that many teams have fallen to in the past. This is a great sign for the future of FUT and for the potential moving into playoffs. So at this point, I would be shocked if they don't make it there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Their last matchup is going to be facing off against BBL, which is a game that I think you have to favor them in. It's going to be an exciting one nonetheless for Fnatic. We know that they're going to be facing off against Na'Vi. So that could be a huge game to close things out. Either way, Mitch, I believe that's it done from us. And I think we're going to be going off to Yinsu.
This guy.
You are indeed. Thank you very much, Mitch and Tom. I'm now joined by Mr. Farland, the IGL for Mr. Farland. It's been such a great season for you guys. You became the first Turkish team to take down Liquid, and now you finally beaten Fnatic. I know you tried a few times in the past, so why do you think that you were able to do that today of all days?
Well, I guess their just game style is just I don't know how to say it, but their game style is just like us, and we just played our game style and just counter them. That's all.
And speaking of this counter, I gotta say, on Lotus, before you went into OT and stuff, your mid rounds on the attack were phenomenal. It just felt like you knew exactly what to do and how to kind of get the plant down. Did you feel that as well? Did you feel like maybe you just had the read today?
Well, not exactly, because like I said, their game style is just like us, because we are taking info from them and they're taking from info us. So it's gonna be easy if everyone just speaks which one is where and who is holding this side, you know? If you know that, it's gonna be so easy on calling mid rounds.
How do you take info with this comp? How do you get the information with this comp?
Well, if the enemy is just using skills at you, you just know exactly where they are. That's all.
I also will say that I think a lot of people expected maybe that comp was just like you do it one time and you will never see it again. So why did you stick with it?
Well, that was just an exaggerating, because we knew at the beginning it was a one-time comp, but our coach said, guys, they will know it's going to be one-time comp, but let's just surprise them and just take it again. That's all.
You were playing mind games,
Yeah.
the brain games. And speaking of your coach, it feels like Gaius has been cooking. He was cooking before, but this time he's been cooking a lot. How have you felt about, you know, some of the things you've tried? Have you felt like maybe everything's been comfortable, or maybe there's some learnings to not do it again?
But I think it's the important thing is right now is stage 2, because if you win the stage 2 interview, you're gonna be champion. So we have to try something here right now, like the last year. We tried Navi on Fracture and we never played like a whole year. So it's gonna be a big experience for us. If we make it to Shanghai, it's gonna be very good experience, and we can try new things again on Shanghai. We will see about that.
So do you see the first half of this year for you as more experimentation, and then the second half is kind of stabilizing?
Yes, because while we have the off-season, we just won against Vitality on Convergence, but on the kickoff, we just slipped a little bit, and we knew that exactly we are not comfortable enough right now, like a team. We are not playing like a team, so we are just figuring out right now in this stage.
Even with the performance that you're putting on right now, you're still not comfortable?
No, we are not still comfortable right now. We really need like big improvement right now from us. Everyone.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
Mr. I mean, if you would improve any more, I think you're going to be the best team in the world. And speaking of that, it felt like last year was a great year for you and your team. You went to all of the international events. You were doing super good. How would you compare your team right now in this form compared to last year? Do you think you're better, not quite there yet, or maybe matching that form?
Of course, it's going to be good against last year, because we are, last champions in it. And one star boy in our team right now, new blood, new fresh blood, always very good for us, because they always give us some new tactics and knowing skills about the gameplay style. That's all. Yeah, I think it's going to be better than last year, I hope.
Oh, lastly, before I let you go, as you can see, Navi and BBL, they're setting up the stage right now. It's been a great start for Turkish fans. You guys got the win. Do you think BBL, they could take down Navi?
Well, this day is, I think, the most how do I say that? I didn't
Crucial, important.
Most important, yeah, most important day, because if we win, I think we just played secure the players, but we want to be in first in our group right now. But if they win against, they will go playoff too. So if we win, why can't they? So.
You got to play them next week as well, so that's going to be exciting too. Thank you very much, Mr. Farland, for joining me. Congratulations once again. But that's not all of the action we have here. We're going to take a quick break, and after that, Navi will be taking on BBL.
I know a place that will break you into 1,000 pieces. Stay away from them. Stay away from Lorca, Paco, and Picasso. Don't ask about Lola. Ay, Caballo Grande. Ay, Dolor de Nieve. But in spite of everything, it occurs to you to visit Andalusia. Don't say I didn't warn you. Be careful of the Andalusian crush.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin, former professional Counter-Strike player and VALORANT coach. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle, you're going to be able to fight this.
Red Bull gives you wings.